We all have surfed the internet, but do you think it's always safe? Do you think all the resources are reliable?
No, they are not. Internet has many ill effects.
Today, we'll be discussing such ill effects and how to remain safe online.
So let us begin.
The first point is, become an online sleuth. This means that be a detective while you surf the internet. So I have a little task here to explain you how things cannot be reliable. You will be shown a video or an article and you have to tell if it's real or it's fake. And you need to give 3 legit justifications for your answer.
The video was fake because whenever the snake eats someone, its body remains the same only, it doesn't get big or small.
Yeah, you're right. The reason you gave is valid. Can someone give me some other reasons as well?
The video was real because python's body can stretch.
I'm sorry, but this answer is not right. The video is real. The video is fake. I'm sorry. The video is fake, but the reason she gave is just one. There are 2 more reasons to justify, and the reason you are giving it's not valid.
The video is fake because the layer is edited where the python is there.
Yeah, you're right. The python has been animated. It's not a real image. Well, I'll give you the 2 more reasons for this. First of all, did you notice the Cosmos News? Have you ever heard of this news channel or this newspaper? The source itself is a fake, so how can the video be real? Second, the voice of the lady. It's never of a real woman. It was tampered. If you hear it properly, it was tampered. It wasn't real. So itself tells that this is not real. Now, some points to be kept in mind while you evaluate a website if it's real or fake. Be a skeptic. Like I told you before, always be a detective when you surf the internet. Never believe anything in one go. Second, investigate the website. See if the thing they're telling you, can it be believable? See what they want you to believe. Is there something that's possible? If it's not, if you think it's not, then do not believe it. Next, check who's owning the copyright. Who is the person a legit person? Is the source a legit resource? If that person is a legit person, then that can be a real. But if you think that the person is fake, the person having the copyright is fake, then definitely the site is also fake. Next, do not be fooled by cool and professional looking websites. Why? These websites, what they do is they put a lot of animated pictures and colorful text and fonts just to confuse you. But such websites are mostly fake. So do not believe such things, okay? Let's decipher the internet and investigate the source. Like I told you, the Cosmos News. It's not a valid source. So the video will always be fake. Next, please. Then comes the rule of 3. This rule is very important while you evaluate a website. Rule of 3 is that whatever information you get, check it on the internet and read at least 3 valid sources for that. Always read a source that says the opposite view of the information. Then only you can say that the video or the information is real. Check at least 3 valid websites. If you take this rule of 3 in your mind, you'll never ever believe anything that's fake. You will obviously get to know you have 3 valid websites saying the same thing, then the video is real. Next, please. Okay, so this article, is it real or fake? Again, you have to give 3 reasons for your answer.
According to me, it's real because ABP News is a valid news channel. But again, one thing I think that can be fake is that how can a crocodile come inside a bathroom?
Well, it's real. And you're right. The source, that's the biggest thing, the biggest point which tells whether a video or an article is real or fake. ABP Live, everybody has heard of it. I see the channel every day, and I think most of us watch news and we have heard of this channel. So if the source is real, probably there are 90% chance that it's real. The news given is real. Second, you can see the image. If you see it properly, it's not animated. I mean, ones who are very good at all such things and animation, they can easily guess this is not animated. This is a real crocodile. And the news, what they want you to believe, it's not something very. It has happened many a times with people. Even not recently in I remember the city, there was a tiger in their house. So animals, they can come anywhere. So this is not something which you can believe. Next, please. Okay, again a video, same thing. You need to tell whether it's real or fake and give 3 reasons.
Oh. Hey, on t'en fait, collègue?
Ah ouais, mais là, t'as fait ça? D'accord.
Oh, ça va? Oh non.
Oh, wow.
Hey, il est où là? Il est où là? Ah.
fake because the golden digger cannot come here, and the video was animated, and it cannot pick the child and throw.
Yeah, exactly. See what they want you to believe. So that is something very important. But the most important thing, can anyone tell me? The most important thing.
The source is not visible.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. The source, they did not give a source. We don't know who's published the video. So how can we believe that it's right or it's real? It's a fake. It's not at all real. The source is not given. How is the video real? Okay, next. Any other point if anybody can give me? Yash.
The photography was not perfect.
Yeah, you're right. So the 3 points are the source is not given. If you see, it was planned. It was planned because there was a voice coming at in the beginning.
The voice was distorted.
So it was
Here.
yeah. So it was planned. Second, the video was animated. They did not even show the picture of the baby. The baby was not shown. It was fake. Third, there was no source. If there is no source, the video is fake. Okay, so I hope now you understand how to actually investigate a website. Next, please. Okay, so I had searched all the two videos and the article, and it has been written, Python is a drunk man, declared a hoax. Second video, it was also declared a hoax. And the third, the image is not clear here, but I would like to tell you that the first 3 links are the links of 3 renowned web news channels. And so if 3 news channels give you the same information, then it's real. The rule of 3, remember? So this is what it is. Search it. If you think, if there are at least 3 websites that say the same thing, and there are 3 valid websites, then you can trust. Then you can trust the information. Next. Oh. So the next topic comes is forwarding and sharing. How many of you have searched your name on Google? How many of you have searched your name on Google? What links do you get? What comes on the website? People having... Yeah? Arjun?
Mostly you can get someone's phone number or something related to his occupation.
Actually, you get the links to his or her profile. All the profiles, Instagram, Facebook, Google Plus, and LinkedIn, every profile you have, there's a link given. And when you click on this link, please do it today when you go home. Click on this link and see what all is visible. When tomorrow you'll sit for interviews, the people there, they do the same thing. They'll search your name and they'll see what you have shared and with whom do you share. How much private settings do you use? And they create a perception about you without even meeting you. So before they meet you, they already know what kind of a person you are. So it is very important you think what you share. Please, because once anything is shared, it has a life of its own and it can never be deleted. So please think before you share because it can cause you real problems when you grow up. Today maybe it's not harming you that much, but tomorrow I don't want your tomorrow to be a waste because of your profile. Okay, next please. A guide to stay safe. Search your name and evaluate your reputation. Go home today, search your name, see what's visible and change your settings. If you think that a lot of information is visible, please, you don't have to tell everything about yourself on a public view. Please. So go home and do a little task. I think this will help you a lot when you grow up tomorrow. Okay, keep personal information private. Like I said, use privacy settings always. Third, use the grandma rule when posting anything online. Now what's the grandma rule? Do you think your grandparents are a little more overprotective than your parents are? Yes. We all do. Because obviously they are a bit more overprotective. My grandma is too. So keep this rule in mind that share only the things you think your grandmother will not feel bad about. If you think that if I share this with public and my grandmother will say that it's wrong, then do not share it. She is right. She is making you she's taking a little more steps towards your safety. So keep what your grandma will think when you share. Next, please. Okay, next is protect your stuff. How do we protect our stuff? It's the simplest way of protecting stuff.
By keeping passwords.
Yes, you're right, by keeping passwords. But you think all passwords can protect your stuff? Next. No, not all. Your passwords need to be strong enough to protect your stuff. So, the strong password, what it consists of? More than 8 characters, More than 8 characters, a mixture of letters, numbers, and special characters, different for every website. This is very important, especially the juniors. Please do not keep one password for all your accounts. Because if someone gets to know one, he has access to everything. And I don't think you want that. Okay, use two-step verification. This is already given in all your accounts, so you don't really need to have to do that. Keep your recovery options updated. Always keep backup for your stuff. Next, please. These are some of the most common passwords used in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are you engaged in learning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? This is not going to protect your stuff. Hello, Panda 1, welcome, I love you, ABC 1, 2, 3. Come on, please. Use at least more than 8 characters. Use a mixture of letters, numbers, and special characters. Next, please. Oh, let's practice. Now here, the name of the school. The child wanted to have the name of his school. But see a creative way of writing it. Nobody can easily guess that. Yes, there are people, but normal people cannot guess this password. And now, there is a name, Rohit Kumar. But do you think anybody would write like this? Nobody can think that Rohit Kumar will write his name like this. So it's a strong password. Next, please.
So, we have learned to create strong passwords using the way she mentioned earlier. And I would like to tell you that it's a fact that 1 in 3 teens has shared a password with their friends or family or whoever for that matter and have gotten into trouble because of the same. I mean, what's the purpose of a password? It's to keep you safe online. And if you share it, there's no use left to it. So never ever share your password if you have saved it. Then, also have a different password for a different account. Why? If someone gets to know the password of one account, he'll get access to all your other accounts. If you give your password of Google+, he can access all your accounts of Facebook, Instagram, everything. And you would not like it. Next slide. So now it's quick buzz time for you all. I'll be displaying some statements. You have to tell that they are true or false. Next please. Only 25% of people have their phone on auto lock. True or false?
True.
Yes, you are right. It's true. Next please. 50% of people under 25 have had their cell phones lost or stolen. True or false?
It's true.
You are right. Next please. And closing out a browser automatically logs you out of your account. True or false?
False.
Yeah. But you can set your privacy settings like this, then it will be automatically logged out. Until you set your settings, it will not. Next. So that was all about passwords. We have an n number of things to protect our stuff. So we'll learn about them now. Next, please. Now, this is a girl named Ellen. She logged into a computer in one of the Apple stores, and what she did, she forgot to sign up. A big mistake she has done. So the picture has been posted by the store manager to remind Ellen to come and sign up. The people there were good enough, so they reminded Ellen. But this is not the case most of the time. So whenever you sign in, always sign out, especially in case of public computers. Next please. Now, what we have learned, to lock a device in screen using auto locks. Then, always log out of public computers. Use incognito mode when using a public computer. What is incognito mode? Yeah, anybody please?
In incognito mode, we don't know who is using the computer or we don't know the passwords and anything. also don't know it.
Right, partially, but incognito mode is a mode you can use to disable your browsing history. Basically, your history will not be shown. So use it when you are using a public computer. And the next point is, do not use open Wi-Fi for services like net banking and accessing your account. Why? Let me tell you. Encryption, that is your Wi-Fi password, often saves you from such prying eyes that are sitting over the internet. They help you. So when you're connected to an open Wi-Fi on a coffee shop or an airport, everybody can see everything. I mean the professional hackers here, not regular people. They can see everything, which websites you are visiting, what you are typing, and even everything you are connected to. So if you are connected to a bank website, they can easily steal your personal details. So never ever use net banking on an open Wi-Fi. Next please. Next again. I think everybody sitting here is familiar with these settings. Yes. We all use smartphones. They provide us with these settings. Yes. We also have different passwords for different apps. We even have facial recognition and fingerprint recognition for different devices. So we should use these settings instead of using a simple password. Next please. Again a quick buzz time for you all. You have to answer in true or false. Same rules apply. Next. Most people never check their social network settings. True or false? False. You're right. True. Next. Over 50% of people, mobile phone users, location tag their posts. True or false? True. You're right. Next. Now, I think some of us sitting here must be knowing about this incident. Can anyone tell me? Viral party invite ends in massive rioting. Anybody?
A huge fire. No.
A viral party is a party that is open to everyone, and there could be bad people also in it, which can hurt many people, and due to this, cops might came.
You're right. I'll tell you the complete news. There was a boy, Delanin, who was just 16 years old. He sent a party invitation online when his parents were out of town. That's not so unusual, of course. But what he did, he shared the party invitation online on Facebook publicly, and he forgot to mention that the invitation was for friends and family only. Over 3,000 people turned up for this party, and it resulted in massive rioting. Eventually, the riot police had to be called to control the commotion. So, my advice to all of you is to think 10 times, at least 10 times before you share, and then only post it. Otherwise, don't. And if you forget to do that, set your privacy settings like these that will limit you from oversharing. Next, please. So, we have learned to know and use strict privacy settings.
Okay, a little buzz time again. The same rules, true or false. Next, please. What you share has the potential to take a life of its own.
False.
You're wrong. It's true. Next, it is advisable to keep our handheld devices on auto lock. Yeah, you're right, it's true. We should use strict privacy settings to safeguard us from oversharing.
True.
Yes, you're right, it's again true. Okay, so the next topic is cyber. I think most of us know what it is. It is actions that use information and communication technologies to support deliberate, repeated and hostile behavior by an individual or a group that is intended to harm others. Basically, cyberbullying is when you post something or you comment on something which can hurt someone else's feelings. Do you think it's right? Do you have the right to hurt someone else just for your fun? I don't think so. Next, please. Okay, so here's a small video on the same topic. I hope you get to know something.
When you drink hard, you might find yourself waking up in very strange places. However, in some countries it's quite risky to drink till you drop. A drunk man in India was taking a well-deserved nap outside a liquor store today, when he was discovered by a huge python. Unfortunately, it was just around lunchtime for the large snake that smothered and ate him. The incident happened in the Attapadi area in the state Kerala. So if you ever have plans to go there on holiday, you better wait to get drunk until you're safe and sound in your hotel room.
He just posted a picture of himself. And this person, he started commenting for fun, basically. But eventually what happened is that Sam was not able to remove the image. He was ready to say sorry. He even tried removing or deleting the post, but it was impossible. That person started chatting with him in personal, and again, he was trying to bully him. And what happened eventually was that Sam decided to kill himself. Do you think for your fun, you can allow someone to kill himself? Just for you want it, so you can ask that person to kill himself? Who are you to decide that? If someone does that to you, will you feel good? There was a page even created, I Hate Sam. Why? Just for their fun. They did not have any personal issues with that person, with Sam. Still, so cyberbullying can have a lot of effect on the other person. There are many cases. The number of suicides in India have increased for 10% just because of cyberbullying. So please, do not do such things. Next, please. Okay, so if you are a victim yourself, first of all, block and report the bully. You have this option on all social networking sites. Block and report the person. Second, reach out for help. Always take the help of your adults. Or you can also go to the cybercrime cell. We'll be providing you the email in the end. Second, be an upstander, not a bystander. If you are not being bullied, but someone else is, then please take a stand for him. Because if that person is not taking, you need to have some humanity for that person. At least you can motivate that person to take a step against the one who's bullied. Be civil and never bully. Please. You are no one to hurt someone's feeling. If you feel hurt, then do not do it to the other person also. He also has feelings. Next, please. Avoid scams. Now, what's scam? Scam websites are the websites which first gain your confidence and then defraud you for money or for your personal details. There are many types of scams: identity theft scam, lottery scam, credit card scam, and etc. Okay, so have you ever got scammed? Is there anyone who has an incident to share? Okay, I have an incident of my own. I have this relative living in the US. His name is David. And 6 months ago, he got a post from a company. I don't remember the name of the company, but he got a post saying that you won $1 million.
Yeah, this happens very often.
Okay, so this was a kind of money scam. Now what happened is that he did not respond to the post, thinking that someone is making a fool out of him. After a few days, he gets another post, this time by his brother, saying that I have also won the same lottery and I've already got the $1 million. So you also participate. You just have to give some of your details and a few fees so that you get all your $1 million. What happens is 5 months pass by, and by this time, Sam has already paid 5 times, and the total sum he paid for getting the $1 million was $10,000, along with all his bank details, everything, his address, phone number, his credit card number, everything. He was fed up. He was done. He was like, why should I pay more? He called up his brother, and his brother said that I haven't accessed my account since the past 6 months. My account was hacked, and now I am able to recover it a few days back only. So I never posted anything on your wall. So David, he lost $10,000 and all his personal information. This is called scam, and this can affect. Now, David, he could never get his money back. He doesn't know what the person has done with his details and the money. So please be aware of such things. Next, please. There's a video telling you about this.
Of Cybertricks. Free cell phone? Enter here to win a free beach vacation? Bad luck if you don't pass this on to 10 friends. With all the pop-up games, contests, and flashy offers on your phone and computer, you know some of them can't be real. So how do you know what you can trust online? And what might harm you or your computer? Let's start by taking a closer look at what cybertricks or scams are. Free offers usually aren't free. If a website asks for financial information like a credit card number to get your free prize, chances are you or your parents are going to find a surprise charge on the bill. Some websites trick you into giving out personal information so they can send you more tricks. Once you're on their list, it's hard to get off. If you pass the chain email on to your friends, you're putting them at risk of being tricked or worse. Even those cool personality tests might be gathering facts about you to make it easier to guess your password or other secret information. To avoid falling for these scams, think about these tips before you click. Stay away from pop-up contests, no matter how much fun they seem. You can't win, and there is usually a secret trick, like collecting information about you, seeing if your email address is active, or infecting your computer with destructive software. Do a web search for a company's name before you give them any information about you. If you can't find them online, the contest or ad is probably not real. Read the fine print. It seems cheap now, but then 10 payments of what? Sometimes, websites just want to steal your private information and use it for themselves. When they pretend to be someone you trust, like an old friend, distant relative, your bank, or even your email service, that's called phishing. No, not that kind. Most legitimate businesses will never ask for personal information, like account numbers, passwords, and social security numbers via email. Period. Don't get hooked. If you get an email asking for your password or other identifying information, don't click on any link or file in the suspicious email. Instead, open a new browser window and log into the company's website as you normally do. If there actually is an issue with your account, the site should give you instructions on how to fix it. If you realize you've been tricked by one of these scams or phishing attacks, take action. Tell a trusted adult immediately. The longer you wait, the worse it may get. If you are worried about your bank account or credit card info, contact the bank or credit card company immediately. If you received a phishing email, go to antiphishing.com to report it. Remember, everyone can help keep the internet safe and fun. Let's review. Be smart with your clicks to avoid nasty tricks. Check out a website before you share your or your friend's information. And if you realize you've been tricked, tell someone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more tips from the YouTube team.
Safe from such things. Okay, next slide please. Identity theft. This is also a type of scam. A scam in which these websites try to take all your personal details. Basically, they try to steal your identity. A type of crime in which your private information is stolen and used for criminal activity. That is what just I said, that they can use it for anything and you won't even get to know. They'll conduct just a small survey saying that you won this iPad or some money or you won some lottery. So they'll just ask for your details, saying that we need your details just for, sending you the money. But they never respond back. Okay, so what they can ask for is your name, your full name, date and place of your birth. Okay, next is addresses and phone numbers. Most websites ask for this. Please do not, if you think that there's a website trying to get information, your personal identifiable infos, do not give. This includes anything related to you. Any of your details, your parents' name, or if you're working, your company's name, your salary amount. This is just to guess your passwords or to have, create an image of you in the web world. How? I'll tell you. Next please. Okay, this is an example of the same. The person here is saying that you won a survey. You never participated in a survey and you won. This is not legit. Such things are just for guessing your passwords or for selling your details. Next please. This is another image saying that you will win an iPhone. Please don't trust such things. These are the pop-up ads you get while you're surfing the net. Do not click on these links. What happens is there are some websites who want to increase the number of views to their website. So as soon as you click, there is a view on their website. Usually this is the case. But most of the times, the other thing that happens is, as soon as you click on these links, there's a malicious software inserted in your computer, which will steal all your information and send it to the person who's created the virus, and you don't even know the person. Next please. So basically, what they try to do is sell your details. They'll sell it to someone who further will use it for anything, and you sitting home will not even know what is being done from your details. Next, impersonate you. Impersonate you means that they'll take all your information and they'll create a profile out of your information with your name, your personal details, and they can share it with anyone, and they can make an image of yours without you even knowing. And tomorrow, like I told you before, when the job interviewers will sit, they see this profile of yours. You don't know, you've never even gone on that website, but they see this profile and they've created any wrong image of yours. You don't get the job. You won't, because the person who's impersonate you will obviously not do it for a good reason. Trick and steal from you. Like I gave you the example of David. They'll tell you that you won this survey or you won this lottery or your credit or anything. They can give you the silliest reason to believe them. So please, never ever click on such ads or such websites. Next please.
So what is phishing? It's also a part of a scam. That means something fishy is out there. So what is phishing is someone trying to get your personal information online through fake sites, spam emails and other trickery. So it is like basically someone is pretending to be true but he's not so. The main aim of the hacker here is to try and build an email that looks like it is coming from a trusted brand or an institution. But what they want is to you want to click on the links in emails provided at the bottom of the page, attachments, or simply get your personal details. Next please. So the best way to protect yourself from such phishing attacks is to identify them before you can become a victim. We'll be telling you some factors which you can look for in the emails you get to identify phish attacks. First one is too good to be true. Something extraordinary, unbelievable, impossible. They're telling you to believe it, don't believe it. It's a phish attack. It's obviously fake. Then sense of urgency. The person is in hurry to get your personal information or your details. Then that indicates some fishery. And I would also like to tell you that these statements like verify account information, alert that your account is in trouble. These statements are made just to worry the user. When you get worried, you'll click on the links provided, and those links they use malicious softwares which will be inserted in your computer, and all your personal details are gone, simply gone. Next, you might come across generic greetings, a greeting that is not specific. After dear, they are not mentioning anything. You might come across spelling errors or grammatical mistakes. And next is address bar contains a misleading domain name. The domain name that you see is not valid. When you read it, you'll get to know. Next please. So this is an example of a link in email provided at the bottom of the mail. Next please. Then this is not a valid domain name. Ripper.com. I mean that doesn't seem valid. Next please. So now I've told you the factors which you can use to identify phish attacks. So use them. I'll be showing you some mails. You have to tell me that those are real or a phish attack probably. Next please. So now this is a mail. You have to tell me if it is real or a phish attack. Anyone?
it is from PayPal.com, which is a valid site.
Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
No, it is not valid.
No, it is not real as it has many spelling errors.
Spelling is not wrong, and even it indicates sense of urgency. The person is in hurry to get your information.
Next. Anybody else?
And next email is this. You tell me if it is real or fish attempt. Okay, yes, Arun.
It's a fish attempt.
Why?
Because the name is not given.
Yeah, you're right. The generic greeting after real, they're not mentioning anything. Anybody else?
Because they have once again written that you have got this much money and that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can win as much as you want. Do you think it is possible? Everybody is so hard of money. They are so precious. Who will give you such a big amount of money? It is not possible. And obviously the link in email is provided that might contain viruses. Next please. So we have learned not to respond to suspicious posts or emails that might contain viruses. Then not to respond to requests for your passwords or any of your personal information. Then if it is too good to be true, it is probably fake. Never ever believe it. Then when in doubt, ask a parent or a guardian. They are your best friends. They'll always help you when you're in trouble. So whenever you don't understand anything, go to them. They'll always help you. Next please. So again a burst time for you all. Same rules apply, true or false. It is safe to use a real person's information for an online character. True or false? True. You're wrong, it's false. It is okay to respond to a greeting card from a secret admirer. True or false? False. You're right, it's false. Then next topic is hack. I'll be just briefing you about this topic. It's a very vast topic. And you can go on the internet to check more about it. So who's a hacker? Hacker is someone who seeks and exploits weaknesses in a computer system or computer network and uses it for his or her own purpose. Then, if you have been hacking Wi-Fi passwords of your neighbors, then you are a cyber criminal yourself. According to the section 66B of the Constitution, you will be given the following punishments: imprisonment up to 3 years, fine up to 1 lakh rupees, or both. So you are a cyber criminal yourself if you have been hacking. Then, if you have been a victim of cybercrime or anyone around you has been, note down this email. This has been provided by the Chandigarh Police to report cybercrime. You can use it to report cybercrime. Next please.
With this, we come to the ending. First of all, I would like to thank Principal Ma'am for her esteemed presence. Then, I'd like to thank our coordinator, Sulpi Ma'am, for permitting us to conduct this event.
And I would also like to thank our IT educator Shilpa Ma'am for her valuable guidance, keen interest and encouragement at various stages.
Lastly, I'd like to thank you all for being such a great audience, and I hope you got some very good points from this event.
That was the main motive behind it, and I hope you learned something from it.
So please remain safe online. Whenever you're surfing the net, keep all these points in your mind. This is what we want. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'd like Principal Ma'am to say a few words.
Thank you girls, Ash and Kushi. Honestly, I also stand educated today. I'm so happy that I was here for this presentation. I am indeed so grateful to these girls for actually apprising us and telling us so much about the cyber. And first of all, I must congratulate both of you. Come here. I think that was a brilliant work both of you did. I'm so proud of these two girls. The way they conducted this complete seminar, the way they conducted the entire process, I think it's commendable. The confidence level, the exploration, the details, everything was impeccable, absolutely meticulous. Congratulations, both of you. And I think the onus goes to Shilpa ma'am, who has taken keen interest in preparing these girls and of course giving your insight to all of us. Now children, I would just like to take one quick question from you. How was it? Tell me honest opinion. Yes, quickly, one by one. Yes, tell me you. How was it, Peter? Very good. Yes, anybody from here? Yes, Peter?
It was very knowledgeable for us.
Yes. Anybody from this side? Yes, just me? Very informative. Do you feel that you can retain some of the points from here, or you want to retain all of them? All of them. At least I, for one, would love to retain all of them here. Because I feel each word spoken by these girls has been so beneficial for each one of us. See, you people are very young. You have just begun your life. And if you can get this kind of information at such a young age, you can actually learn a lot from them. In fact, I love the point that you said, that grandma's advice. I would like to know, Shilpa, is it only done by 3 of you, or like they had explored, or how was it? Okay, the workshop, the seminar that they attended. Okay, so how many of you will not take grandmom's advice? You don't like that when your parents tell you, "Band karo, kya sara din internet laga ke baithe ho, ye karo." You don't like it, na? You don't like, na? You want to explore more and more. But now, after listening to these two girls, you feel that you are going to keep all those points in mind? Yes. You have to make sure that whatever, wherever and whenever you are doing it, it has to be meaningful. It has to be meaningful. And I think the hacking and that, in fact, when they talked about this scam, I didn't understand what they were talking about. It's only when they described, when they explained, I realized that on my email, I keep getting these scams. I don't know, umpteen number of times I've got this and I've never responded to it. First time when I got it, which was I think about 7-8 years ago, I was very happy. $1 million mil gaya. But then my son, who's also an engineer, he said, "Mom, nobody's fool to give you this kind of money. You haven't earned it, you haven't won any lottery." So I think what they said makes a lot of sense. So girls, thank you very much for being so informative, for giving such a beautiful knowledge to each one of us. Thank you so much.